Bleach's Thousand Year Blood War episode 31 just dropped, but unlike the first few episodes, for the first time, we do not get a major addition that takes the spotlight, but rather multiple small ones that help weave everything together to fix the rushed feeling this arc had in the manga. I think this is gonna be a recurring theme in the upcoming episodes, even in the fourth cour, since there are barely chapters left to adapt. But additions aside, in today's episode we got my glorious king showing everybody the difference levels and they cannot do shit about it. However, while creaming myself watching his appearance, in this episode and even in the third episode, I felt like something was off about his character, something about his attitude, until I figured it out. In this part of the manga, Aizen was portrayed as his usual arrogant self, but in the anime, notice the difference. Why is he gloomy? Why isn't he smirking as usual? I'm starting to feel like this isn't actually an error from the animation staff, but rather a change to the way Aizen is gonna act in his next appearances, which makes me wonder how are they gonna handle his Welcome to My Soul Society iconic panel if they're gonna make him this gloomy. Maybe they're portraying him in this manner to make his clash against Yuha even more powerful. I kinda lean towards this theory, as we already saw Aizen looking down Yuha acting as his usual self in their first encounter. So maybe they changed it in the anime that Aizen is not happy about something. Does he not like the fact that he shares common interests with the Soul Society, or maybe he knows for a fact that they are cooked? Anyways, I can't see a lot coming from this change, especially the added dialogue regarding Ichigo going to the Soul Palace before him, which poses even more questions about how did Aizen see the Soul King, and whether did he change his perspective or goals. In my opinion, I think they are gonna add more depth to this part here, and probably explain it all near the ending. Maybe in his dialogue with Ichigo, maybe even adapt the part from the Camp Fury own world light novel where Aizen is resealed again. But with that out of the way, even though today's episode didn't have an addition that took all the spotlight, my favorite addition is by far anything Shinsui related. It is really obvious they are trying to emphasize the difference between the way Shinsui leads the Godi 13 in battle and the way Yamamoto did it. The speech hyping up soldiers, disregarding his honor for the sake of victory, and accepting the help from anybody other than the Godi are decisions Yamamoto would have never made. But sadly, this was one of the reasons he met his tragic fate according to Yuha, and I kinda agree with him. In my opinion, if it was not for Shinsui leading, the Soul Society might have never won this war, and I think he is the most underrated war MVP. One thing that today's episode did really well though was setting up the atmosphere for a lot of the stuff that is happening or going to happen in the future. As I said, Shinsui leading the Godi properly gives the feeling of an actual war taking place, unlike what happened in the manga. Them hinting to Yuha and Aizen power levels, since Aizen was the only one to fully grasp how strong is current Yuha, and I wonder if that's what troubles him. Them hinting to Yuha's new form without showing it is gonna have a huge impact when it's revealed, and judging based on the few frames we saw of Yuha's new form, this shit looks tough as hell. I also like that we're getting more small character interactions, which makes me believe that some of these characters might get some fight scenes with some of these surviving Quincy's. However, one thing that is slightly intriguing is why did they keep Ukitake alive up until this point? I think they did it to set up the atmosphere that the whole world of Bleach is hanging on a knife's edge. This weak man that is about to meet his fate is the one holding back reality from collapsing. Maybe they're gonna give him an emotional send-off just when Yuha finally unleashes his new form after fully containing Mimihagi. And lastly, this episode's poem featured Grimjaw, which makes me feel they will give him more screen time in the upcoming episodes. Hopefully they expand upon his fight with Askin and maybe make him the one to lose initially instead of Ichigo, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like this part of the manga. Subscribe, Sweet Pea.